Hello, everybody. 'Tis me, the one, the many, the Kanada. So this video might be cursed. I've tried to record a video about this particular movie going on 4 times now. Every time I've done it, the recording has been corrupted, or the frame rate has been garbage, or some other issue has occurred. I assume I am trapped in a hellscape where I am unable to talk about the movie Free Guy. I have talked about this movie 4 times in a row to myself across various attempts. I'm going to be repeating the same jokes. I've made them several times. So, if I do get through this and demons come out of your ass from watching it, 1, your fault because you clicked the video. 2, actually, I don't have a point. Demons may come out of your ass from watching this video. You are warned. So, the movie Free Guy, I'm going to do that every time I talk about the title, is about a guy named Guy. And he is a video game NPC. He is a fictional character. He is trapped in essentially Vice City, GTA 4 or 5, online, take your pick. He's not in the horse game, though. He's not in the Red Dead Redemption, Winchin, Revolver, whatever that game's called. The cowboy one. So he's not in the cowboy one. That'd be a good sequel, actually. Put him in the cowboy one. That'd be funny. So, Guy is stuck in the hell as being an NPC in a Rockstar game where he is tortured, murdered, robbed, so on and so forth on a daily basis. And because he's a nice guy, and all the NPCs in this version of this stand-in for GTA are all nice people, and they are literally stuck in a hell of not of their own making. At some point, Guy starts to gain sentience and realizes, what if I wasn't just going to my job and doing my thing? What if I did other stuff? Like, look at this hot chick. I like this chick. Oh, I am now sentient. Oh, hell. Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Oh, no, 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 no. And he comes to realize how much his existence sucks. And there's a lady here who is a video game, a player, a user, if you will, of the grid, or the mainframe, the games inside. Shh, I'm gonna make reboot jokes, and Tron jokes, and war game jokes, maybe, if I can think of something. Jokes about movies you've never seen, because you're children. You're literal children, and I'm a skeleton. Booga booga. So, he realizes, hey, I snatched this User HUD sunglasses off one of these terrible people who are torturing me and my kind. I can have the power of a user. I have a HUD, and I can level up and use weapons. But I don't feel like using guns because that's bad. But I will beat people up and learn kung fu and stop them from robbing myself and my fellow NPCs and dragging us out of cars and murdering us, and the GTA thing. Like, there is a bit of a thing here. I don't know if it's intentional about how bad the average person treats a fictional character in a piece of media, interactive media like a video game. There might be something there. I don't know. This movie might have a thought. This movie does have some actual ideas that it plays with. Doesn't do that much with the ideas, but they are there. The guy is becoming sentient. He is learning. He's evolving. He is leveling up. Partly to get with the lady. And the lady, being the player lady, has her own subplot, and every time we go into the human world, this movie loses interest. Because all the interesting stuff is watching a fictional character realize they are fictional, dealing with that, adapting, trying to better their environment. Their fictional environment they can't control fully, but have a little bit of control now. And he has emotions, and that's the interesting part of it. I mean, it's Ryan Reynolds, so it's amusing and charming. It's fun. He's doing kind of low-end Deadpool, but nice guy Deadpool. It's fine. It's fun. Human subplots, not as interesting. Lady is trying to prove that her code was stolen for the video game, and she's got another coder guy who's the boyfriend, and stuff happens with that. And then you have our main bad guy, who is Waka Tiki Waki Wiki Wiki? Waka 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 Man? The guy who directed Thor 3 and 4 and did What You Did in the Shadows. I can never say his name correctly, so I'm going to call him Tiki Tiki Man. I'm not going to, and I don't feel like correcting that. Tiki Tiki Man, he doesn't want to be here. He is giving a complete non-performance of not giving a flying, utter shit that he's in this movie and getting a paycheck about it. He has nothing to work with. He also doesn't care. So he's paying a evil businessman video game developer, which you could do something funny with that. Video game developers, especially ones for mega corporations, tend to be really terrible. They keep coming up in the news like that. And I have no reason to even try to pretend to be nice about it to that side of the coin, because you've got Bobby Kotick. Terrible. You've got everyone at Ubisoft be raping people. I'm not kidding. You've got Square chasing NFTs. Sega's literally funded by Yakuza. I could go on for a while. And a lot of these video game corporations and companies have heads of development, heads of video game studios and such, and there's a lot of terrible people in there, and there are various stories that you can find easily and go look them up and see that you could have done a lot with the idea of a bad guy video game developer. This movie chooses not to do any of those things. What you get is a weird, quirky bad guy who's kind of video game centric, barely. I will give the movie credit with the human side of the storylines. It's a better look, or at least a better example of how a video game company is ran, for at least for a big game like this, versus silly crap where you'll see like the old commercials where the guys are sitting on the couch saying, "Oh hey," or where the tester is sitting on the couch going, "Oh hey, tighten up the graphics of level 6 person on this on my phone." Oh sure, we'll get around on that. Yeah, it's not that bad. Considering it's a movie, it does actually give a crap about what it's doing in terms of what it's portraying. It is actually trying to portray a video game as something like a video game instead of Tron or whatever the hell Ready Player One was doing. And that's another comparison point in that movie. I'll get back to that. Maybe. I may forget. But yeah, the human stuff is not very interesting. The villain's terrible because Waka 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 has nothing to work with and doesn't care. He's just absolute garbage. And that one irritates me a lot because even if you don't want to do a specific, like, real life terrible person involved in video games, there are a lot of very eccentric video game directors and producers running around. You don't have to do anyone particular, but you could have fun with that. Like, Suda's a weirdo. You got the Deadly Premonition dude. You have my wonderful Yoko Taro, who's a crazy person. There's plenty to work with here, and they chose none of it. That's boring, distracting, truly terrible acting and decision making on the parts of the villain character, which hurts the whole movie every time we do anything with the human plot because he's involved. Anyways, that's more interesting stuff. Is again the guy learning and evolving, and eventually we come to our point of he realizes he becomes aware of his situation when he finds out that, hey, this player I'm after is a human being, and she realizes, oh, this is actually the AI is after me, is in love with me, is aware, is sentient. Oh God, this lady made life. And the movie kind of works a little bit with that, mostly because she realizes, oh man, I've made life. Now what? Not only do I have to prove my stolen property code thing, I have to protect the fact I made life and make sure it is not destroyed because the villain guy wants to stop me from proving my point and yada yada. So stuff happens. Guy goes through a lot to save himself and try to save his fellow NPCs who always, basically, most of them die and it's just kind of like, there's stuff happening here. There is a good movie in here. Now, I will say this is actually a good movie. I have massive problems with parts of it, but there is a interesting concept and some good stuff in here. So you gotta kind of wait through the crummy stuff with the real world to get to the more interesting meat involving all the fake world stuff. And the ending is interesting. I will go into spoiler town because it's actually I think it's some pretty interesting stuff to discover. So if you don't want to go into that part, it's a pretty minor thing. The movie's actually worth your time. I'd say it's a good rental. Go for it. So the ending itself, Guy... So they managed to save Guy and preserve him and his GTA clone world on another server or whatever. The lady convinces the bad guy to just, like, here, you get to keep your video game, your GTA clone, and all the rights to that thing, but I just want my code and all this stuff, and this code you stole from me, and a copy of all this stuff here that's been made on the server. And he's like, excuse me. He's like, okay, fine, whatever. So and then he's being lawsuited and all sorts of crap because he went into the server. He fired everyone and went to the server room with an axe and managed not to get killed by being electrocuted. But anyways, another story. And Kirby, like, wow, this guy's stupid because this lady made actual sentient life. Like, she's going to get all the Nobel prizes. Those come with money. More importantly, she made life. Every developer for any kind of software companies and governments and everyone's going to be coming to her doorstep and saying, hey, you made life. We want in on that. Forever. And the video game guy is too stupid to realize that video game company profits? Life was made. I haven't a decent argument to be involved financially because this was my software and some of my coding and programming is also in the game, so I could technically argue that I helped. Video game company, life. You see my problem here. But the movie has to resolve. And it resolves, and weirdly, we end with Guy is basically in essentially a heaven situation for him because he's immortal. He knows he can't die because he's programmed. He may have some degree of power still in this world, or at least he has the ear of God. He knows God personally. He knows God's name. He flirted with God and tried to make out with her. Kind of weird. But he at least has essentially his God's favor, and the God has put him into a utopia paradise land, which is basically GTA without the players. Also, dinosaurs are here, so it's kind of Dinotopia, which, okay, fine, sure, why not? And the god is giving him back some of the NPCs who were lost, and it's an interesting situation where you have life aware of and interacting with its creator. Like, there's cool shit here in these concepts. Like, I would enjoy a sequel. I don't know what you would do with it, but I would like them to try. Provided Waka Waka Tiki Man is not involved. No, go away. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting movie. I don't know if it's successful entirely. It has cool ideas. It has cool concepts. It also has a problem with it. It also has a problem that it has to be a movie with villain and, side crap. But there's something interesting here. I think it actually is worth your time and worth a watch. At least a rental. It's been on video for months and months now, so you have the ability to have your phone out to go blah, 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 while all the humans are up, and then when Ryan Reynolds pops back up, you can go back to paying attention. Perfect movie, perfect experience. So yeah, worth watching. If I actually got through the recording of this video without screwing up again, I'm sorry to the survivors. The demons are probably nice and friendly. Just offer yourself to them. It'll probably go fine. It'll go fine, trust me. Anyways, or if this video did corrupt again, I'm probably just going to do this as a podcast, because I'm not talking about this movie again for the 5th time. Again. Anywho. La-da. And be nice to NPCs. Don't rape them. Don't shoot them. Don't kick them out of your car after you pay money for your sex with the NPC prostitutes. Be nice. Be nice to your NPCs. They will remember. Later.